Good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you can take your seats, we'll get the program started. Thank you. Okay, first I'll do a sound check. Can everyone hear me in the back? Excellent, thank you. Good morning and welcome to the premiere of Invisible Immigrants, Spaniards in the U.S. My name is Chris Alvarez. I'm the current chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Tampa Bay History Center. And again, I welcome all of you and appreciate your attendance today. I think you're going to be very happy with the exhibit that's being presented as well as the program. Before we get started, I want to take a moment to recognize some very special guests that are with us in the room this morning. First, we're honored to welcome Mayor Jane Castor of the City of Tampa. Thank you, Mayor, for your leadership and being here with us. We're also pleased to have with us former Governor of Florida, Bob Martinez, whose contributions to our state and community have had a lasting impact. Representing Spain, we have José Vivero, honorary consul of Spain in Tampa. Thank you, Jose, for your presence in strengthening the ties between our communities. From the Fundación Consejo España, Estados Unidos, we're delighted to have Fernando Prieto. And thank you for fostering connections between Spain and the United States. We'd also like to recognize and thank the county commissioners that are in the room, and a special acknowledgement to Judge Emiliano José Salcinas, EJ. His dedication to history, justice in our community is truly inspiring. And finally, we extend my gratitude, especially to the board members of the Tampa Bay History Center for their commitment in preserving and sharing the rich history of our region. Thank you to all. So as we look around TECO Hall here, we see that we're surrounded by 6 murals. These murals are from the Valencia Garden Restaurant, which was a landmark location in Tampa from 1927 to 2009. They depict scenes throughout Madrid and Valencia that shows a window into the spirit of Spain that's helped shape this community. My great-grandparents immigrated here from Asturias many years ago in the early 1900s, along with many friends, relatives, and countless others, to forge a better life for themselves and for their children. They formed social clubs and business associations, created their own system of health care, and even built their own hospital here in Tampa, Centro Asturiano. They and their descendants have made deep and meaningful impacts on this community and its culture and continue to do so today. This exhibit highlights a period of Tampa's history that often goes unnoticed in many other cities around this country. The contributions of Spanish families who arrived in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, and through photographs, documents, personal stories, Invisible Immigrants captures the spirit of these trailblazers and the lasting impact they had on this country. As you explore the exhibit, I invite you to immerse yourself in the journeys of these families who came here seeking new opportunities. I encourage you to take your time, appreciate the ethos represented by these photographs, reflect on the powerful stories being told, and for many of us, remember and appreciate the legacy of those who came before. Now please join me in welcoming the Honorable Mayor Jane Castor of the City of Tampa.
Thank you. It truly is an honor to be here today. We are so thankful to be the first location for this exhibit in the United States. And it is something that does not go unnoticed in our community. So everyone who has had a hand in bringing this exhibit to the City of Tampa, thank you. Thank you also to Chris and everyone that supports this History Center, because it really is so critical to the success of a community that we remember and we honor our history. Just this week, I know that Rodney Kite Powell and I have seen way too much of each other. We have had 3 historical markers that we have celebrated this week, and talking about the history of our community. And you learn something every single day through simple conversations with individuals about the history, about the lives of those individuals that took a chance on this community, in many cases over a century ago, to come from other countries with that dream of making a better future, not only for themselves, but more importantly for their children and for their children's children. And that's what I see today, are those generations of ancestors that were produced by the individuals that came from Spain, came from Italy, came from Cuba, and other parts of the world to make this the cigar capital of the world. And then bringing, intermingling amongst each other. I know there are many in here that probably could count all 3 of those heritages as part of your DNA. And that's another thing that makes our city so wonderful. But it really is the diversity of our city that makes Tampa the best city in the world. And it's something that we need to celebrate, and we also can never, ever forget. And it needs to be continually told day after day in a variety of different formats. I know that the History Center I have been on, I don't know that I've been on all of them, but I'm pretty sure I have, of the history tours in the city of Tampa that tell the story of the immigrants. And I learned something on every single one of those tours. So I encourage everyone to learn about our history and all the myriad aspects that make the colorful tapestry that is Tampa. And I also encourage everyone to be that beacon of light in the darkness for others that want to realize that American dream. We are all immigrants. Times may have changed from a century ago, but the struggle is still the same for so many individuals. And America is still the greatest country in the world, and that's why individuals want to come here and build a life here. So we are that place that so many people have been able to build a life and be successful, and in turn, again, they have created the greatest city in the world. So thank you all for your part in what you've done, not only to create this wonderful city, but also to celebrate, give acknowledgement, and credit to those individuals that rolled up their sleeves, took a chance on this area, and built the city that we all enjoy today. Thank you all, and God bless.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Spain's ambassador to the United States, Her Excellency Ángela Moreno, and our Consul General in Florida, Jaime La Cadena, they send their regrets for not being able to be here this morning. However, they have asked me to convey to all of you their support and commitment to the invisible immigrants. I wish to take a few minutes to express our gratitude to the Tampa Bay History Museum, its Board of Trustees, and to the chair, Chris Alvarez, and to the executive team and staff for bringing the exhibition to Tampa, the first city in the United States to hold such an honor. To our mayor, thank you. Your dedication and commitment to this city, a diverse and multicultural place to work and live, and we thank you for that and your leadership. To the Fundación Consejo España, Estados Unidos, and its Secretary General, Fernando Prieto, for their vision and financial commitment to create this exhibition. It has been showcased in 3 major cities in Spain: Madrid, Gijón in Asturias, and Almería en la región de Andalucía. Also, I want to thank Mónica Otero y María Luque for their help and for their commitment and for taking care of all the details. Thank you, both of you. And to the curators, James D. Fernándes and Luis Argeo, both of whom have worked for more than 10, 15 years to bring this exhibit to reality. To both of them, our salute and a big thank you. Thank you also to the Centro Asturiano de Tampa and the Centro Español de Tampa. They were formed and founded in 1902 and in 1891. You can imagine. Thank you for all you do, for carrying on the tradition, the customs, the music, and the culture of the old land. To Anthony Carreño and his family, who is being depicted in this exhibit, thank you very much for your time and dedication. To the J.C. Newman Cigar Company for sponsoring yesterday's luncheon and the tour of their factory, followed by a historical perspective presentation by the Honorable Judge E.J. Salcines. Thank you. Thank you to all the sponsors and contributors that have made this project become a reality. And to all of you, especially those who come from other states and other cities from the United States, thank you for taking the time to be here this morning. In closing, as the honorary consul of Spain to Tampa and to the west coast of Florida, but more importantly, as a person who has lived and worked in Tampa for the last 49 years, and who together with my wife, my sons, my daughter, my grandchildren, we call Tampa home. This home became home for the many immigrants who left Spain, who left their homeland and their families in search of a better life for themselves and for those who they left behind, and to the new families they created in Tampa. Their sacrifices, work ethics, love and respect for their new country who welcomed them contributed so much to the history, culture, and development of these great United States of America. Thank you. Viva España. Viva the United States of America. Thank you. And with that, I would like to introduce Fernando Prieto, Secretary General de la Fundación Consejo España, Estados Unidos. Fernando.
Thanks very much, Jose. It's a real thrill and an honor to be here. This project has been on the making for many years. And this is the first time that it comes to the United States, so you can imagine how privileged and how happy we are that we made this big step for this exhibition. So José Vivero, our consul honorary in Tampa, made the mention of all the people and institutions that are involved. But I would like to be also mindful of the great group in the Tampa Bay History Center. Chris Alvarez, as chair of the Board of Trustees, let me mention all the people in your team that made all the preparations and that were necessary for this presentation. Rodney, Teresa, Michelle, Billy, Susan, BJ, Amanda, Colleen, Nancy, Marcella, Klaus, Roland, and the rest of the team. There's a lot of people involved in making this happen. There are the sponsors. The Fundación has provided most of the funding, but we have also had the support of the government of Spain through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, of an institution dedicated to promote Spanish culture in the world, Acción Cultural Española. But the funding and the technical support is not everything. There is a lot of descendants and relatives and families of immigrants who have welcomed, shared their archives, and they were essential for this project to come about. Thanks very much for them. In particular, to Ansley Blackwell, Crystal Lastra, Arminda Mata, John Reñón, Cynthia Tamargo, Kathy Varon, and Bill Ware. Of course, very, very special thanks to Tony Carreño, best Spaniard descendant, and who have taken so much of his time and efforts to make this happening. The local community in Tampa has been essential. The Centro Español, the Centro Asturiano, the Ybor City Historical Society, the Ybor City Museum State Park, J.C. Newman Cigar Company, University of South Florida Libraries and Special Collections, the Tampa Baseball Museum, and of course our own Fundación team, Aria Luque. A big round of applause to you. You were, on our behalf, you were the force behind this, so I'm very grateful to you for making this happen. So allow me to make a couple of brief mentions. Our Fundación is a private-public effort, combines government and combines private companies that are interested in the United States. And one of our missions is to help build and continue connections between Spain and the United States. And this connection between the communities of Spanish descendants in the United States and Spain is a very important connection, and we are persuaded that by telling the story and telling it in relevant places, we are helping to contribute to make that connection that adds to the government-to-government connection, universities, companies, researchers. There are many layers, and this is a very important, a very important layer. It also brings to mind something that was not very visible, although in Tampa is a very visible presence. The invisible immigrants is an important chapter of the history of Spain and the United States. In the history, it's a very long history, 500 years, right, Jay, South Ines? Long history, many things have happened, but why telling this story now? Because it's an important and it's a relevant story. There is no time to tell everything that has happened in the past. We need to tell stories that are relevant and significant for today and for the future. And in thinking about the future, we are also mindful of 2026. There will be an important anniversary as we see it in the United States, 250 years after the US independence, in which Spain had some role, an important role. And I want to mention that there is in the room a person who has been very active in promoting and making known the role of Spain in the independence of the United States. Teresa Valcárcel, a good friend that has come all the way from Washington, D.C. I know she's in the room. So, Teresa, thank you. Thank you for all the efforts that you've done. And this story of the immigration, we believe that it can be presented as part of the important history between Spain and the United States that in 2026 will be making a great milestone. Finally, I've heard many people who say, well, this is helpful, this is interesting, this exhibit, because it makes us think about our roots, be proud of our roots. And I say, well, that's wonderful, but my takeaway, going back to Spain, is that we in Spain, we should be proud of what you, the descendants of Spaniards, have achieved, what you have meant for Tampa, what some of you have achieved in the US politics, in the US judiciary. We need to know the stories of what you are and be proud ourselves of what has become of the descendants of the Spaniards. And of course, we hope that this will be one step in the journey of this exhibition in the United States. We'll see what comes about that, but we'll be ready and willing to entertain ideas, projects in the future. In the meantime, I will leave you with the curators, James Fernándes and Luis Argeo, to come to the podium. You will enjoy the talk very much, I'm sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando. We obviously subscribe to all the expressions of gratitude that have been made this morning. We don't want to take more time expressing thanks, but know that they're heartfelt and sincere to all of the people and institutions that have been mentioned. As some of you know, Luis and I have personal connections to the story that this exhibition explores. You might also know that the two of us have spent 20 years, in fact, researching this story, 5 years before we met each other, and the last 15 years working as a team. The story of these working-class Spaniards who came to the US in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And it's been mentioned that we've done this work mainly by visiting the homes of the descendants of the immigrants and asking them to share with us their family archives and their family stories. All over the country, people have opened up their hearts and their photo albums and shoeboxes and cookie tins and hard drives to allow us to digitize and study this history family by family. And then we take all of that data and compare them across families, across regions, and try to get a picture of what this diaspora looks like nationwide. While doing this field work, both Luis and I have had on more than one occasion a really unsettling and uncanny experience, which is the experience of coming across images of our people, our parents or grandparents, in other people's family archives. It's really pretty wild to do that, to be thumbing through flipping through the archive of someone you've never met before and coming across a picture of your grandfather, or in your case, your father, in one of the films, yes. Right? Yeah. This experience is unsettling because it forces us to realize that before or besides being our grandparents, our abuelos were members of large and vibrant communities, friends, co-workers, compatriots. And it forces us to realize that in a way, our ancestors had other families before, besides, and beyond our families. You know? Some of you will walk into the vast 3D photo album that we've assembled on the 4th floor of this History Center and will literally recognize your people because so many of you have lent us materials. Many of you Tampeños, I think, will see your people in Tampa, but also you'll think you'll see them and they're in St. Louis or New York or California. We hope that everyone, even if you have no connection to Spain or to Tampa, we hope that all visitors feel those goosebumps of seeing your people represented here. Because beyond the specific metadata of the images in the exhibition, place names, proper names, dates, and captions, beyond all of that, what you're going to see are images of people who took great risks and made great sacrifices in order to cross borders in search of opportunities for them and for us that were unavailable to them at home. That is the deeply human spirit of resilience and enterprise that is behind all migrations of the past and present. And that spirit of dignity and decency is what we strive to document and honor here at the Tampa Bay History Center. So thank you so much, and Luis, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I won't take up much more time. I think we all want to go upstairs and enjoy the exhibition. We have come for that. But I just want to take a moment to express our gratitude and to remember all the people who are here but not physically present. The ones we've met over the years, who even though they are not longer with us, are still part of this project. Let me clap them. Those who lent us materials, who shared their memories with us, and taught us how to keep a history alive. This history, our history alive. One history that without their help would have faded into total invisibility. I want to remind you of them because they are the true examples of that history, this history. And among them, I want to highlight you, Tampeños, Tampeñas, who have always shown us the best lesson of how in community effort becomes more bearable. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. And now, one of the Tampeños that, let me help you. Please, let's
Gracias, Luis. Good morning, all. Good morning. Buenos dias a todos. My name is Anthony Carreño, and like so many of you in this room, I am proud to be the descendant of immigrants from Spain. My maternal grandparents immigrated from the province of Asturias to Tampa in the very early 1900s. On behalf of all the descendants gathered here, I say thank you. Thanks to all who made this incredible exhibition possible. We thank the Fundación Consejo España, Estados Unidos, our fantastic Tampa Bay History Center, and voy a decir en español un mensaje personal a la Fundación. Gracias a Fernando, a Mónica, María, y Paco, ¿dónde está Paco? Y Cintia, muchísimas gracias por todo lo que han hecho para nosotros. Gracias. I'm a little nervous. It's more emotion than nerves, so bear with me here. Normally I speak extemporaneously, but I also want to thank the generous supporters and sponsors within each of those organizations. And above all, we thank Dr. James Fernándes and Luis Argeo for conceiving of this exhibition and ultimately bringing it to fruition. Thank you very much. It's a gift to Tampa beyond words. Es un regalo a Tampa más allá de palabras. Muchísimas gracias. We Tampeños are honored and humbled that Tampa was chosen as the first city in the USA to host invisible immigrants. The reason for this is, according to Dr. Fernándes, there are several aspects of Tampa's Spanish history that make it unique among the other cities documented in the exhibit. Among those are the incredibly rich architectural patrimony that exists within our city, the remaining cigar factories, the palatial mutual aid societies, and our cemeteries. I want to thank the Honorable Bob Martinez, the former governor of Florida and mayor of Tampa, whose administration generously assisted our local community in rescuing historically significant buildings from possible demolition. Governor Martinez, thank you very much. It is not forgotten. My closing words to my fellow descendants are, relish this beautiful exhibit as a testimony to our brave and resourceful ancestors. Additionally, allow it to be a source of inspiration and a catalyst to rescue what remains of the legacy of the Spaniards in your own community. Please take that with you to Tampa. It's so important. And thank you for being here very much. Many of us here are members of the last generation that knew the immigrants that we're honoring. We're the last generation to have that visceral connection. When people like me have passed on, at that point, it might become just history in a book, which is never as important. So do what you can in your own communities to rescue whatever vestiges remain of that Spanish presence. They're there. You may have to look a little harder, but they're there. Make sure you pass that on to your descendants. That's what this is all about. So thank you very much. Muchísimas gracias a todos.
Thank you to all of our speakers today. As we wrap this up, I'd like to thank one more participant in today's event, and that's our catering and hospitality partners. The 1905 family of restaurants, as everyone knows, the Columbia Restaurant and its generation of caretakers have supported the Tampa Bay History Center from its very beginning. The Gonzmart family tree traces back with deep roots to Spain. While third-generation owners Cesar Gonzmart and Adela Hernandez were both born in Tampa, each had Spanish lineage. Cesar's parents, Marcelino Gonzalez and Aurora Martinez Gonzalez, were both Spanish-born in the Principality of Asturias, him in Linares and her in Pravia. Cesar, a professional violinist and orchestra leader in addition to a restaurateur, actually created the last name Gonzmart as a stage name by combining the last names Gonzalez and Martinez, which I also did not know. I found that fascinating. On Adela's side, her father and mother, as well as her paternal and maternal grandparents, were Cuban-born. Her great-grandfather and great-grandmother, Casimiro Hernandez and Amalia Rivero, both were born in Spain. We thank the 1905 family of restaurants for their hospitality, their continuing ongoing contributions and support of this History Center, and now we invite everyone to enjoy refreshments followed by a gallery tour starting at 11:15 on the 4th floor. Thank you again, and I hope you enjoy what I certainly know you will enjoy you see today. Thank you.